Hey, 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 good morning, my beautiful epic peeps. How are you today? Happy Thursday. It just amazes me how quickly this week seemed to fly by. So, for those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Samantha, and I'm coming to you on behalf of EPIC. EPIC stands for Empowering People and Inspiring Community. And EPIC Tri County CT is this beautiful, multifaceted platform of positive media. We have this beautiful print publication. We have a great digital version on our website, www.epictricountyct.com. We have a social media presence. And as we begin to all reemerge, as springtime is upon us, we do know that soon we will be safely gathering again. And that's something that Lisa, my co-publisher and co-creator, and myself are so excited about, is to finally get back to the festivals and the fairs and, going out and seeing people. So, yeah, I'm feeling a hint of spring in the air again today. I'm so excited. There's a couple things that I want to just, our good housekeeping. The podcast has been released where I was the guest with Caitlin Casso. You can find that by searching Inspired by Her Story podcast, her being capitalized. This will also be up on our website before the end of this week. So if you want to wait, you can just click there and listen to the conversation that I had with Caitlin and Caitlin had with me. It was absolutely inspiring. And I definitely recommend that you check Caitlin and her work out. What else is going on? I wanted to share a little personal thing. Many of you know that I'm on a ministerial track, and I just received information and confirmation that the world is so good that I am going to be able to attend seminary, finish up my classes on a scholarship. So I was awarded a scholarship. Where do I go? Right now it's virtually United Metaphysical Churches, but usually I take a trip down to Roanoke a couple times a year to go see my peeps down there. Reason I'm saying this, if you're interested in any type of mediumship classes, any type of spiritual healing, you don't have to be on a ministerial path to check out United Metaphysical Churches out of Roanoke, Virginia. Okay, number one, the majority is virtual now. And two, they have so many classes, and they're all very affordable and the real deal. For example, I'm taking Intro to Shamanism as part of my ministerial path. So definitely check that out, United Metaphysical Churches. I had to give them a shout out and say thank you for embracing me and allowing my path to unfold so gracefully. Again, if you're looking for things to do this weekend, make sure you get onto our website, check out the events, and you'll be seeing the yellow Jeep and the silver car out there delivering our April issue of Epic. It is on its way here right now on a big truck. So we'll be out there delivering them. Be sure to check out our website. Our new issue will be up there too. And for those who have subscribed to receive their own copies mailed, be on the lookout in your mailbox beginning of next week, because your new copy with a special gift will be in there. And in these pages of Epic Tri-County's April and March and April issue is a beautiful segment. It's our empowerment and inspirational segment. And this particular issue, we are featuring my next guest, Patricia Martin, Patty. I'm going to call her Patty. Patty is an author, a poet, a freelance writer, communications professional, and is just a beautiful light. New to the Torrington area, she's bringing with her, though, a passion to help others, to grow community, and to collaborate and grow in relationship with those. So we're going to embrace Patty now as I bring her forward. And I know that out there in the streets of Torrington, when you see Patty, you're going to embrace her also. So let's bring her forward. Yay.
Hello.
Hi, we can see you and we can hear you. So we're so excited. That's always a plus. Always a plus.
I'm excited too. I'm so happy to have found the Epic community because I love what you're doing and I love the impetus and energy behind it. And it's so great that I was led to you.
Yeah. Isn't it beautiful how everything just kind of flows without us even knowing, you know? Um, for everybody watching now and those that'll watch later, Patty and I were just getting ready to go live, and I just happened to ask, whereabouts, do you live in Torrington? And lo and behold, I know that in the vicinity, I'm there very often, and we'll be walking together very soon with little Bear. And yeah, so it's a beautiful affirmation of the divine, the thread that runs through everything, that we were close even before we knew that we were, too close. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Patty, and how your journey has evolved to where you are now as a poet, an author, and a writer.
It's all like just stumbling, and like we talked about, like falling into it, finding each other in surprising ways. And I feel like I've been very fortunate to have been given opportunities to grow in that arena. I originally wanted to be in broadcast. I actually got my third class FCC license on my own as a teenager, and I'd call the WAW radio station and speak to Allison Steele, the Nightbird, who was my idol. And then when I went to college, I got involved with writing more and was led in that direction. And my English professor must have seen something in me, because I became like the unknown grader. He gave me, work to look at. So I was really encouraged. And one of my first jobs, after I worked at a TV station in Manhattan, I was working for a PR agency. And the owner is very small. The owner is also an artist. So he was and an editor from a trade magazine. So he was a left brain, right brain kind of guy.
Yeah.
And he, like, something would come up and he'd go like, well, you can do that. You can write that. You can do. So he really, it was a great mentor to me. And so I kind of tripped along, and I always wrote on my own. I always was writing poetry in college and in high school even, and I had great creative writing teachers. But I was sort of a closet poet, so
Yeah.
I didn't share everything immediately, and I was encouraged by some musician friends of mine to do some street fairs with them with music. So they kind of got me out of the poetry closet, and I had an idea for books, and I was fortunate to have some support by other creatives who helped me put together marketing materials. And I went to the Jacob Javits Center to a trade show and met my first publisher. And
Wow.
so it was just sort of like tripping along and la-di-da, I have an idea. What do you think? And that's kind of how it happened.
It sounds organic. The word that just came to me is it organically unfolded to your best and highest good, and has led you to, what it is that you love to do.
Exactly. Yeah, because the first I published, I thought would be, it was illustrated puns, actually. It was humor. And I thought I'm not a known household name. It will probably be greeting cards first. So it was a stationary greeting card show. We got there late because our train had an issue. So I literally had like an hour and a half.
Yep.
I went up to this one publisher and showed the stuff, and they're like, oh, that would make a great book, wouldn't it? And it became a book. And then my my last book, the coffee table book, I went to the American Booksellers Association to do a book signing on a previous book. And I was 2 days in Chicago by myself, and my feet hurt, and all I wanted to do was window shop on Miracle Mile. But I'm like, you're here to work, you're here to. And I was walking, and this woman came up to me and stopped me and said, you look like the model on my book jacket. Look at that, because I was wearing a derby hat. And she said, what are you here for? And I told her, she goes, you need to call my agent. And that's how that happened. Just like la-di-da-di-da.
Yeah.
Without pushing against it. I think putting the energy out there. So
yeah, and
it's
keeping
been a
yourself
great journey, and I love research, and I love writing.
Awesome.
Exactly.
Awesome.
Exactly.
How do you find balance, Patricia, with everything that you do? Can you give us some tips on, because I know that you're very, very busy. I'd love for you to speak a little bit about Speakeasy and your intention there, and maybe we can, ignite that again. Can you tell us a little more about what you do in the community? Because
Oh,
you're a staple now in the Epic family here.
that's so great. I feel at home. Family, tribe. When I moved to Torrington, I didn't know anybody. And I came from the Woodstock area where I was living, where there's something going on you can be busy every night going to music and poetry and dance and all kinds of things. And when I came here, I was looking for that and nobody knew of anything. And then I got excited because I found out there was a monthly poetry thing in Goshen. And I'm like, well, that's close. I'll call. So I called. It took place at a church once a month. And I had a great conversation. And I'm like, well, where are you located? Turned out it was Goshen, New York. And I'm like, really? So anyway, I'm like, that's it. I became like Mickey Rooney. Let's have a show. I'm like, well, maybe I'll start a monthly thing here. And I had some support from some people I was fortunate to meet to, John Nolke Gallery embraced it. And I had a friend help me do the design. And lo and behold, it became a beautiful creative community, attracted a lot of people. There was a real hunger for it. And it's like, to me, it was like everybody was welcome, whether they were polished professionals or students who were just learning to write. Everybody was given equal respect. Everybody was given equal voice. It was a no judgment zone. It was freedom of expression. And it was really fun to watch people kind of blossom and get more comfortable. It even attracted some musicians that became our house band. And when it started, they'd show up and they'd just do numbers before we got started. And so it just became like a happening.
Yeah, yeah.
So it was just a community.
And what a platform, bless you for giving the students and those who might not consider themselves worthy enough or good enough, to share their work a platform and to allow them to use their voice, because it's through that, it's through the collaborative efforts and, just really holding people in a space where sometimes they can't hold themselves, that really allows them to fly, and I love the name Speakeasy.
And they would learn. Yeah. It would be poetry, it could be essays, memoir, spoken word, monologue, anything verbal communication. And what was nice is that people would hang out afterwards. I'd bring snacks and stuff, and people would share with each other, and it became like like a little gathering and sharing, and people really supported one another, which was beautiful.
Yeah. I'm really, really excited. I'm excited to get the copies of the March-April issue out, which features two pieces of your work. I'm so excited. I'm not going to give it away by reading it or anything like that. If you want to read Patty's work, you need to look at our March-April issue.
Wow.
However, can you share the Haku that you showed me with your Buddha?
Wow. Oh, sure. I'd be happy to. Haiku is fun. It's like a little gem, a bit of a gem. I was inspired by my outdoor Buddha, who was up to his neck in snow and could have been in the woods or something.
Right.
And I took the photo, and even though it's large type, I still need my glasses.
I hear you.
Buddha on boulder, serene and inscrutable, sees beyond the snow. So that's what he told me.
I love it. And that is a haku. Can you tell us a little bit about what a haku is? And I would love to learn a little bit more about it. I
It's,
know very little.
it's an Asian poetic form, and it's the traditional format is 5 syllables, 7 syllables, 5 syllables. So 5 7 5, and then usually there's a nature element to it. And when I was in Woodstock, I belonged to a group called Haiku Kai, and a haiku kai is a true. And what was beautiful about that is that people would come with up to 3 or 4 haiku individually on an index card with no authorship. And they would be gathered and shuffled and read by the facilitator a few times in a row. And then the last time they were read, you would raise your hand for the 3 or 4 that spoke to you. And what was great is that nobody knew who wrote what. And sometimes it was a movie and sometimes it was a award-winning author, and it's a great way to learn and share because you're just going by the feeling that you get from the poem, not, oh, I have an attitude about so
Right.
they're great, or I
No
well, I
preconceived.
don't see eye to eye with that one. So it's
Right. No preconceived
exactly.
filter. Yeah. No preconceived filter. So what?
And he say what
Go ahead.
which was great. What was great is that when people raised their hands, they would say what in particular spoke to them about the poem. So as an author, you would hear, how people reacted to things, it's a special thing when that happens. It doesn't often happen.
Right.
Because writing's so solitary and reading is solitary.
I never thought about that.
So that was really, yeah, yep.
That's really, really great.
And so yeah,
As
reading and writing is very personal.
it is, I've never really considered, looked at it from that aspect. So thank you for opening that thought up for me, and I'm sure our viewers and those that'll watch later will have that to think about also, and the information on the haku. That I love that. It's 575. That's a little tidbit. I know you're beginning to wanting to expand your freelance writing. What exactly is that? If there's someone watching right now that doesn't know what a freelance writer is, can you explain a little bit on that part of your journey and how you're wanting to expand?
Well, I was freelance for many, many years after I had some day jobs. I'm sorry. My sound got a little wonky. Can you hear me?
I can now. It's going in and out a little bit, but right now we're okay.
Okay, good. Otherwise, I can try to change computers. So as a freelance writer, you work as part of a team sometimes with I work with design companies that do brochures and ads and that kind of thing. And sometimes they're asked to provide writing. And if they don't have someone on staff, they would bring me in and we'd work together. Ad agencies, I'd be part of the creative team, sometimes concepting, and then sometimes directly with a business that, if you have it's sort of like in and out. You have a project you want somebody to work on and you do it and then they're gone. So,
right.
I mean, having an ongoing commitment is very good, but to be able to freelance, and I love it because it's like going to school all the time. It's like, oh, who are you? What do you do? What do you need to express? And how can I best help you express that? I really enjoy that.
It sounds exciting. Almost like, I do some virtual assisting on the side. So same thing, as needed, we're able to create together, create what it is that is needed. And then, like going to school. Thanks for, expanding on that. The sound is going a little bit in and out, but it's all right now. And what we can do is we'll have you back definitely. This is the first of many. As we begin to wrap it up, because like I said, it goes by so fast. What as we come out of 2020 and we're well into
Oh
2020
yeah.
now, what's some advice that not advice, but what are some tips that you can give to our viewers about finding maybe you know navigating the lessons and looking for the good? Can you expand on that a little?
Yeah, I think we can make conscious choices as to where we focus our energy, where we focus our thoughts, and it's like the glass half empty or the glass half full.
Mhm.
And I think that it's important, especially if you're feeling a little anxious or concerned, it's important to kind of, I have this to be grateful for, I have that to be grateful for, situation, and have an outcome that I can feel positive about or good about. It's not being stuck in a rut. Sometimes we like our routines and we like our ruts, and change is scary. So it's almost like, treating yourself like a kid and saying, it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
Look on the bright side, and I try to do that. And sometimes it's easier than others, but sometimes it takes an effort to do that, and a conscious effort. It's like, there but for the grace of God. I mean, it's like, okay, so this is happening, but look at this beautiful abundance of
Right.
friendship, or this beautiful, of this, my animal making me smile.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we
Very
have to
rare.
be grateful yeah, when the pandemic started, I found myself being very having anxiety, and that's when I something caught my attention. I was making my bed, and there's just something about fresh sheets on the bed that is like such a joy.
Yeah.
And that started a poem about what is sweet, what is good, is what I called it. And it's like taking notice of all these little things. They can be very small, gentle gestures, and just taking joy in that moment, and collecting as many of them as you can, and building up
Putting
your
them all
reserve bank.
together. Right.
Yep.
Put them all together. Put them in the reserve bank. And I loved what you said. And what I got was for those maybe watching now, and for myself, to allow creativity to help you see the gratitude through the haku. You don't have to be a world famous author or writer to be able to use the outlet of writing and poetry to, or actually to have it help you heal yourself and to move forward and to see the good and to really heal that, use it as a tool. I know that when the publication hits the streets, there are going to be many people reading your work and wanting to reach you. What's the best way for our viewers now and later to reach out to you for some of your services, whether it be freelancing or everything that you offer?
Oh, well, thank you. Yes, I have a website, which is patriciamartin.com, my name.com, www, via email, which is pmartinwriter@gmail.com. I have two emails, but that's a good one for the writing and the
Okay.
things.
Okay.
And then I also have, the other one is an odd one. It's Chief Fab. It's supposed to be Chief Baby, but they couldn't fit the Y. So it's Chief Fab at capital.capital.net.
I saw that.
Chef Fab, Chief.
I saw the
So
email.
it was
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I love it. Just as of yesterday or the day before, I've started to, and I believe I mentioned it yesterday, I started to look at different titles, that we have under our signature lines in our emails, right? So mine has always been co-publisher and co-creator of Epic Tri-County CT. And I'm choosing to get a little more creative. So now one of them might say chief cheerleader and creativity confidant, right? Igniter of impact, whatever it is. So with that, I'm going to ask you, Patty, just on a whim, what would be a creative title that you would give yourself as a signature line or whatever, to encompass what you do, to kind of put in a nutshell what you do? What would that signature say?
Oh boy. Let's see.
No one's top of your head, into your heart.
Seed spreader.
Ah, I love it. I love it. Seed spreader. Is that what you said?
Seed spreader.
Aha. Lisa, do you have that? I'm trying to see if Lisa's writing it for us too.
Yeah.
Isn't that fun?
Yeah, like
Isn't that
ideas and seed.
Yeah. So I think that is fun. Let me get rid of this. Let's see, we're going to hide that so we can see you again. We wanted to share your contact information, your website, and your email. We want to thank you, Miss Patty, for contributing to our upcoming March-April issue. We look forward to collaborating with you in all your endeavors. And I look forward to walking with you very soon when I'm up, in your neighborhood, which is pretty wild. And for everybody that is,
and I'm
oh, go ahead.
Street.
We're going to have, the sound is cutting in and out. We're going to wrap up. Don't leave me, Patty. You stay with me, okay? Stay with me. All right. So everybody
and
that's watching.
I feel so good.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you. We're grateful to have you here, and we're grateful for every person that is watching now and that'll watch later. And there's always a few things that I like to leave you with. Number one, stay safe in all that you do. Whatever it is, make the best choices that are going to work for you. Second, stay true to who you are, right? Stay in alignment with that beautiful, divine, creative person that you are, right? Because there is nobody else quite like you. And this is what the world needs, is you. So stay true to who you are. Stay tuned till tomorrow, which is Friday. Very different, but Friday, 4 p.m. We're going to have Tiffany Alexander here. We're going to be talking about money and mindset. So stay tuned to Epic Facebook page and YouTube. And as always, it is with our deepest love and light that we say peace out, Epic Scouts. Thank you. Thank you, Patty.